WPI, 3 legacy CPI indices, and then the 3 new CPI indices. So what should be the preferred measure for calibrating monetary policy in the Indian context? We've traditionally used WPI because we thought that the legacy CPIs were not representative enough for the entire population. Further, in India, WPI has been more extensively researched by way of its empirical relationship with other variables such as output and monetary aggregates and interest rates, and therefore presents richer analytical insights. Several analysts have criticized us for using WPI. They said that it's flawed on the ground that WPI proxies producer prices rather than consumer prices. It's also been contended that WPI does not adequately capture the movement in prices of services, which constitute nearly 2/3 of our economy. And if you look at the WPI and CPI trajectories over the last 10 years, we find that there has been divergence, convergence, and we've had a problem whenever there's been divergence between WPI and CPI in calibrating our policy and, more importantly, in communicating our policy. To some extent, the divergence between WPI and CPI can be attributed to statistical differences stemming from coverage, classification of items, and the relative weights of the constituents. However, there could be other reasons as well. For example, higher transaction costs, taxes, are reflected in the CPI but not in the WPI. Regardless of the reasons, the large magnitude of the short-term divergence between the two indices poses a major challenge for assessing inflation dynamics in the short term. Going forward, is there a case for shifting to CPI for the conduct of monetary policy in India? There are several issues which need to be considered in this context. First, as we've discussed several times in our internal meetings, the new CPI has only 19 data points, which is not sufficiently long for a statistically robust analysis. Second, in the new CPI, food prices comprise nearly 50% of the index, making the movement of CPI relatively more sensitive to food price changes.